And 7 people from Louisiana have been sentenced for their roles in a drug trafficking conspiracy around the Natchitoches area. The Department of Justice announced today that all 7 suspects have been sentenced for a conspiracy for distribution of methamphetamine. 6 of the 7 involved are from right here in central Louisiana. James Christopher Weeks of Montgomery, Eric Joseph Sandifer of Pineville, Candace Shree Bronson of Alexandria, alongside Ashley Danielle Dowden, Louis V. Jackson, and Adam James Johnson, all of them from Natchitoches. Back in March of 2020, drug agents in Natchitoches were informed about the group selling large amounts of meth in the area. Through that investigation, agents learned that the drug ring operated in northwest Louisiana.